What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Comic Breakdown. You know, One World Under Doom, I think, is gonna go down as one of the best Doom comics that has come out in years. This issue number 9 of One World Under Doom. This is our finale. This brings everything to a close. Doom has pretty much gotten everything that he could want. But in his final battle, as victory is within his grasp, his goddaughter, Valeria, shows up to the battlefield. And with her arrival, she also meets her death. And if you know anything about Doom, Doom will sacrifice anything, and I mean anything, to make sure that Valeria lives. This started from her birth. She was placed under the royal protection of Doom, that anybody foolish enough to ever mess with her, to strike at her, this is no different than striking at Doom. You see, One World Under Doom, this is a love story. It's about a great king who never allowed anybody to touch his heart, but his goddaughter. She is the one that claimed it so easily, so gracefully, so much so that Doom didn't even notice it was happening. But the great king, he protected her. He cared for her. He taught her everything that her parents wouldn't, and he helped guide her throughout the years. So as we sit here on the battlefield and we see that Valeria is dead, the life is out of her body, Doom screams to the heavens. When his goddaughter died, the great king's heart, which he had never allowed anybody to touch, broke forever. In this moment, we get a brief little conversation between Doom and Valeria. You see, Doom is telling her this story of the great king, because fairy tales, stories, they hold power. And at present, stories are the only thing holding her body and soul together. This small little sliver of life, this is what Doom is holding on to of Valeria. This is the spark he wishes to reignite and bring her back. While in the physical world, he works with great effort to try and fix her body, to mend the wounds, telling her that Doom does not permit this. The great king did all that he could, but he could not save her. He could not change the past, knowing that her body was rotting, her soul gone. He voyaged to a place that mortals never meant to go, teleporting her body out of here with him. He goes to the Vishanti, those that have extraordinary power over life and death. They could, if they wanted to, fix a mistake. But these beings, they spoke of only duty, of consequences. They refused to hear anything Doom had to say. And so the great king, he used his power and he forced them to listen. He used all of his earthly magic. But here, among these beings, the rules are different. Different magic. Here, there was magic powered by emotion. And right now, emotion is something that Doom has in abundance. But even with his great amount of power, the Vishanti wouldn't listen. They would not heed his words. They would not obey. And so he sought better gods, stronger gods, traveling through yawning voids, through rooms that are white hot. That is, until he arrives at the shores of a great god. Doom stands before the living tribunal, and he tells them that Valeria Richards has died, that I require this to be otherwise. And Doom offers anything that the living tribunal would desire. The living tribunal will go on to tell him that bargains carry terrible costs, but one can also not bargain when they have nothing to offer, because Doom has nothing to offer. And we see Doom almost humble himself, saying that no, if one seeks justice, then one always has something to offer, a more just universe. But the living tribunal will go on to say that you don't seek justice, you just don't want guilt. You don't want to feel the suffering of your mistakes. And Doom fully admits that he does desire those things. But on this occasion, Doom will hide nothing from the living tribunal. Just this once, Doom demands to be fully seen. And so the living tribunal, who could merely kill the great king with less than a thought, they looked into his soul. They found what was expected: the devastating torment, the guilt, the rage, the regret, the ambition. But what they also saw was love. The unadulterated, the untethered, completely selfless love for his goddaughter. To love someone is to put their well-being before your own. This was something the living tribunal finds unexpected, something that even deems merit. And so, just this once, the Great King will get what he desires. The Living Tribunal will save Valeria. But Val, even in this moment, she knows that it's gonna come with a cost. She doesn't want to do this if it comes at a cost of Doom. But Doom is more than willing to pay whatever it may be, begging to know what the cost would be. He says nothing except your soul is going to go back to where it belongs. Your body will be restored. The cost is irrelevant. You will return to Latveria, and Doom will deal with the consequences. With Val returning to the land of the living, reuniting with her family, Doom is gone, disappeared from the world, vanished in an instant. Nobody really knows what to do or what happens next, but we pick up later on with Mr. Fantastic and the arrival of Doom. And Reed goes on to tell Doom that freedom's returning, old democracies are being restored, old dictatorships, border, all of it, inequality, old sufferings, old lies, old hate. The world is returning back to what it was before Doom. But more than that, the world is in a worse place since before Doom. Because of what Doom did, it caused power vacuums. So there are coups, instability, expulsions. Doom rather threw the world into chaos. And Latveria without Doom. Reed Richards goes on to explain this, but he's cut off by Doom. But Doom only wants to know, are you enjoying it? The fruits of your labor. And Reed, he pauses, and he goes on to say that there was perhaps never another more gifted and better suited to be a great and benevolent leader, if he chose to be so, than Victor Von Doom. But instead of helping people, you helped yourself. You made fascism. You made it appealing, even attractive. You sold it to good people. You sold it as a reasonable option, and it destroyed everything that it touched, to include you. You have left the world in a far worse place than you had ever found it. But Doom goes on to say that he has realized the dreams of Sargon, of Alexander, of Augustus, in ways that even they never could. That his only fault was to take over a world that Reed Richards and his people were in. That any plan for liberation is destined to fail unless the initial step of this plan is to destroy all of these self-proclaimed heroes first. So Doom is not lost. Even in all of this, in the aftermath of his failure, to Reed Richards, he'll never admit defeat, saying that he is merely postponed and his liberation of Earth will eventually come. But he didn't come here to discuss philosophy. He came here to make a demand. This is not by request. Doom is dying, and as we see him currently just slowly fading away, Reed says that I'm not gonna save you. I don't even know how to forgive you, but I won't save you. I need you to understand this above all other things. Doom, of course, saying, like, of course not. Like, you're incapable of saving Doom, just as are you incapable of defeating Doom. But this is not what Doom demands. Now, Reed will try to go on and say no. That whatever it is, the answer is no, I'm not doing it. Whatever trick, whatever scheme, no. But this is when Doom kinda checks him. He's like, I traded my life for hers, along with my titles, my planet, my soul, asking if she is well. And Reed says that she is. Knowing that she is safe makes all of this worth it for Doom. While Reed will try to go on to say some things, Doom tells him to pretty much just shut up. That he's not going to spend his last moments enduring any kind of vain facade or objections that Reed might have. As Doom fades away, he tells Reed to take care of his world. And when Reed picks up the Mask of Doom, inscripted on the inside, it says that upon his death, a copy of this document should be inscribed within every book, computer system, and information storage device on the planet. Victor Von Doom, of both sound and mind, hereby appoints Reed Richards as the executor and trustee of the final will and testament of Victor Von Doom. He hereby revokes all former wills, anything made by him, and hereby declares and demands that all he possesses, owns, or rules over, including the nation of Latveria, it shall be given to whoever first manages, and then it cuts off. But Reed Richards cussing and the expression on his face, we can only assume that Doom did what Doom will always do. One final battle, one final trial. Everything that Doom owns goes to the victor. And that is where this series ends. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Honestly, I expected everything until that final page. I was not expecting Doom to do that. So that's an interesting turn of events. Doom knew that he was gonna die. Now, we have to assume that Doom isn't actually dead. He's doing something bigger. He's working on a grander scale. Intertwined now with the Living Tribunal, we could even say that Doom went cosmic, but it is also indentured servitude. He has essentially become a slave to any cosmic being the Living Tribunal sees fit, whether he wants to pass him off or keep him as his own, whether he has plans for him or he wants to bargain with Doom's soul. It's a nice little chip to have, and it could have some benefits. But more than that, I think we're gonna see Doom take on a new role. I think we're gonna see Doom elevated to some kind of maybe cosmic reaper, a form of like cosmic justice for the Living Tribunal. In my mind, I'm thinking like, honestly, I'm thinking like the Spectre from DC Comics, like the righteous hand of God. I mean, that's not a bad atonement for his sins. To disperse righteous justice across the cosmos seems like a very fitting outcome for Victor Von Doom. But obviously, this is not the end of Doom, and is definitely not the end of Latveria rising to power. Every computer, every book, every storage device in the world got this information, which means every villain, every hero, every up-and-comer, they're gonna be going for Latveria. Everything that Doom had, all of his science, all of his weapons, everything. Not only did he throw the world into chaos, but he did it for a second time. If you thought Doom was done, he had one more little scheme up his sleeve. But honestly, this was a great story. This story, the love story of Valeria and Doom. You know, if you've been following the Fantastic Four comics for any significant amount of time, you'll see how entrenched these two are. Going back years and years. I mean, Doom even goes back in time and tries to change time itself. He does so much in an effort to try and protect Valeria. And because of his own ambitions, because of his own ego, he caused the death of her. Now, you could argue that that's really plot device, but I think it's a fitting in for Doom. That the one thing, the only thing that he truly loved in this world, he killed. Because of his ambition, because of his drive, that hunger became too much, and he lashed out at the world when all of it was right at the grasp of taking everything away from him, when it was on the verge of having all of his great conquests ripped away. One final battle to take down the heroes, and it was all his. But he never expected his goddaughter to be on the battlefield. This was amazing character development, both for Doom, both for Val, for the world, for the Fantastic Four. This is a huge step forward and a huge pivotal moment in Doom and Marvel Comics. Definitely a story that is going to be remembered for years and years to come. I, for one, absolutely loved it. There's some parts that definitely drug on a little bit. Maybe it was a little too long. Some of it might have been just for the plot, you know what I mean? But in the grand scheme, you put it all together, it's an amazing story. I had a lot of fun reading it, but let me know what you guys think. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your theories. If you want to get caught up on everything that is going on with One World Under Doom, go ahead, check out the link in my description as well as the top of this video. That's going to get you caught up on everything that is going on with this series. If you would like to support the channel, you can always do so by joining the channel membership. This is a lot like Patreon. It gives you a bunch of different perks, it has a bunch of different options. It really does help push us in the algorithm a little bit. But if you're unable to do that, the free way to help us out, simply subscribe to the channel, like the video, hit the notification bell. There is a new hype button. You can find it down there right under by the comments and everything. This is a new thing that they're testing out to try and help videos pushed in the algorithm. So if you want to hit that hype button, it does help us out greatly. With that being said, until the next breakdown.